Hello and welcome back to our channel, How We Move the Decimal. And in the video today, I am photographing slides to list on eBay. And the equipment I use is a tracing board from Amazon. It's around $14, nothing too expensive. And I use a white sheet of printer paper, just legal size, and to diffuse the light a little easier. Before this, we were using light bars. We were using those little things where you can put like the messages on them with the lights. We had actual slide light things that you use too, but this is just the easiest for me. It's really light. I can take it around with me. The kids have used it to trace on. I've used it to trace on, so it's just what comes in handy. For those of you that this may be the first video you've seen, I bought a large lot of slides, thousands of slides to be precise, at an estate sale, and this I usually just do one 12 by 12 box at a time of slides, which is usually between 1,000 and 1,500 slides in it total. And I'm splitting them by years just because there's so many slides now that I can't even split them by specific events. I do pull out damaged slides. I do pull out tourist slides that are like were sold like postcards. And I do pull out random flowers and random scenery just so you get more what you want, I guess. Like most people don't want a slide of a rose or something, so I do pull those out and list them in a separate lot. And that's how I end up doing it. I never went to estate sales seeking out slides or photographs or anything, and they're kind of a niche market. And they're long end, they're long tail. I'm not selling these for high dollar immediately. These are more long tail type items, but I do like it. I find it interesting. I don't mind listing these, where when I list clothes and stuff for our store, I dread it a little more. I'm like, oh, I have to sit down and list, photograph these pants or photograph this shirt, where it's kind of exciting to sit down and list these because this is the first time I'm viewing them. I haven't looked at them. I haven't separated them before. So this is fun for me. It's like a prize. It's a surprise. What am I getting in this? What is all involved? What is the picture of this time? So I like that. But so it's fun for me, but it's very, very time consuming. So I sit down for roughly 4 hours a go when I do this, and I can take one box is usually 4 hours, so I can take roughly 1,500 slides photos or scan the slides. And with this, that gives me multiple videos like I'm recording now, and I also get several listings. I would say probably 15 to 16 listings of larger lots of slides out of it. So it is time consuming. I've photographed these. I have not listed these yet. I'm going to have videos up of me listing the slides, but I just have these videos now. And I'm trying to like schedule out videos or have like specific videos come out at a time. But as I've talked about before, I do everything in eBay in bursts because I am a small-time seller. This is by no means my full-time job, and this is not what I want to make my full-time job. This just helps pay for activities and the extras in life. Or like for me, my old faithful van had a bit of a hiccup recently, and this helped pay for getting a new engine in my van because unfortunately the car market is crap right now, and I don't want to pay $60,000 for a new minivan or a new to me minivan if I can even get my hands on it. And when you have a vehicle that is your primary family vehicle, you can't go without it. I don't have the luxury of not having it. So it helped pay for that. Last year, it helped pay for a new stove because for some reason, the stove that came with our house was a glass top or ceramic top stove. and it completely cracked in half. It was a really big boom. I couldn't figure out what was going on. And I was like, what was that loud noise that came from my kitchen? And it had completely, the entire stovetop had cracked in half, and you could see the electrical components. So there was no salvaging it. We had to buy a new stove in a pandemic where I couldn't even go to a store and look at a model. So I had to buy it online. Thankfully, it worked. And honestly, now our kitchen looks more cohesive. I'm not a crazy like OCD house decorative person, but I have a black appliance and a black and silver appliance, and then my stove was white. So now I have a black and silver stove to go with my other two appliances, so it kind of ties it all together, which is nice. But I was not looking to replace that. I didn't think I needed to replace that. I kind of didn't want to replace it. Now I'm kind of side-eyeing my dishwasher. I'm waiting for her to turn on me because she's really old and she came with the house and she takes a bit, and I have to talk nicely to her to get her to work properly, but I'm hoping she stays and doesn't give out on me this year because got to pay for that car engine. It's rough. I'm the type, I'm the type of person that grew up in the family that, you don't turn your heat on before November 1st, and you don't turn your air conditioning on until after May 31st. So you have to wait to do all that to save money, and it just hurts my heart when I have to spend large quantities of money on something, but we don't have the choice. With my van, I didn't have the choice. Would I rather have taken that money and put it on a down payment? Yes. If it would have been 2 years ago, would I have put it on a down payment? Yes. But the market the way it is, there's no choice for me right now. I don't have the ability to take on a car loan that large for a vehicle. And the used car market costs almost as much as the new car market. And I really don't want to buy a new car. I just would prefer a used car because, the old saying, as soon as you drive a car off the lot, it's lost all its value. But thankfully, everything else, knock on wood, fingers crossed, with my van was good. The transmission was good and everything. So just replacing the engine helped. I will say it is quite nice not driving around with a check engine light on and hearing a weird clicking, thumping, screeching noise coming from my car, which kind of, I joke about it a little bit. It's kind of like you don't want to say you have a low standard of living, but when you get used to something, I guess, it's the frog in the boiling water thing where you just don't realize that, hey, maybe there's something wrong, or this maybe I need a higher quality or something. I've always, all of my life, been very okay with used goods. I've been very okay with secondhand or not having the best, the most perfect. I'm okay with off-brand and secondhand, and I try to find, especially for my children, secondhand clothes and stuff because they grow so fast. One of the things I'm actually trying to get better at, or allowing myself to get better at, is vacations. Vacations were always like super luxury, like not a luxury vacation, but getting to stay in a hotel was a luxury. Getting to go on a vacation was a luxury. I was talking with my students, or lecturing with my students about this, and the thing is, if you grow up in poverty, you continue to carry on some of that behavior with you. And that's the same as if you grew up affluent. It's the same for if you grew up in an affluent social class. So I grew up in a lower socioeconomic class, and I think I've carried that behavior with me. And one of the behaviors is hoarding money, not, I don't know how to explain, like squirreling it, hiding it in places. in case someone can take it from you because you don't want them to take it from you, or saying you don't deserve something because it's not worth it, or you can go without. Like, I would have no issue spending money for food because I know we have to have food. Would I buy the name brand food? No. Or if I do, it's a luxury. I'm on Reddit a lot, and there was a question on Ask Reddit. What is one food that makes you think somebody's rich? So what is that one food somebody has that makes you think they're rich? And growing up for me, it was kiwis. If you had kiwis, you were rich. Or if you had Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal, you were rich. And not even that we were poor. It was just that the luxuries weren't there. Vacations weren't there. I got to go on a vacation for my senior present, and that was amazing because I didn't have the luxury growing up of going on vacations every year. I wasn't a kid that got to go to Disney World multiple times. My husband and I were both very proud of ourselves when we got to take our kids to Disney World, and both of us only got to go once in our lives. So it was a big thing for us to be able to do that. Granted, our youngest was only 2 months at the time, so obviously she got gypped on that, and hopefully we can go again. But I'm trying to be better at being okay with spending money on memories. If I'm okay with spending it on food, I should be okay with spending it on memories. And that's hard because we take our childhood with us. We take everything with us that we had growing up, and we carry it with us into adulthood, no matter if our situation has changed or not. And I think a lot of the resellers, at least a lot of the old school resellers on eBay, were taking their childhood with them. They were, probably scrappy and probably did come from lower socioeconomic classes and found a way to do this. And now we've seen the atmosphere of a lot of the resellers changing, where it's make a quick dollar, or I can, be a millionaire on eBay or whatever. And I think it's unattainable for a lot of us. I could watch all of those YouTube videos. I could join all those master classes. It's unattainable. I could, do what all the self-help gurus do. I could wake up at 4 in the morning every day to hustle, hustle, hustle. But I'd be miserable. So I think we have to figure out a balance between our happiness and our hustle. And I'm trying to let myself be more happy with a little less hustle. I know there's certain things I have to hustle at. For the sake of my family, they have to keep going. But I'm trying to get better at, I don't have to do that. I don't have to, teach another class. I don't have to pick up another job. I don't have to do stuff like that. I am the queen of part-time jobs. For a while, I was carrying multiple because I felt the need. I had to bring that in. And maybe a little less hustle and a little more happy is what I need this year. And I think a lot of us are experiencing that. And it's okay. It's okay. I can hustle more later. But right now, maybe I just want to enjoy being happy.
I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays, way back a year ago. I've changed for the better this time. I thought I would never be fine. I strive just to say I'm alright, and for the first time in a long time I'm alright. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays. Way back a year ago. I'm not falling. I'll push all my chips and call all in. I'll bet on myself, you keep stalling. I hear destiny and it's calling. I'll keep my head up high through the downs and lows. And we're all going life, still nobody knows. But I'ma choose what's right and take what comes and goes. And ain't no one in life holding me back no more. I've seen a lot of change, been through a lot of pain. Some things are not the same as they were a year ago, but all will be okay. I move on each and every day. The past is where it stays.